lost deep in the jungle. I've already lost count of how many times I just wanted to give up and be done with it. But that didn't stop me. And this is the second part of my jungle adventure. If you haven't seen the first part yet, it'll be pinned in the comments. In an instant, I felt a sharp pain in the water. A young anaconda had bitten my foot, and with a wrong move caused by the shock, I injured myself. With all my strength, I moved away from the young anaconda, but the wound on my leg was a serious problem. That's why I grabbed a kit from my backpack and tied an improvised bandage around my leg. I rested for a while to recover my strength. Hours later, while I was resting under the shade of a tree, I heard a loud buzzing. A cloud of tropical mosquitoes descended on me like a living storm. I quickly applied the little repellent I had left, but I had already received dozens of bites. I knew that diseases transmitted by these insects could be as deadly as any predator. I looked for shelter under a pile of leaves to protect myself until the insect storm passed. At dusk, when the light began to fade, I came across a narrow section where the river formed rapids. My injured foot worried me, but I had no other choice since there was no other path. There was no way to continue along the riverbank, so I had to cross the river. The water was treacherous. The slippery rocks made every step difficult. While crossing, one wrong step and the current swept me away. I lost my balance and fell, hitting a submerged rock. It stunned me, but I didn't pass out. The pain was intense. As the current dragged me, I saw a large tree near the river. So I swam with all my might and managed to grab hold of an exposed root of the nearby tree. With great effort, I dragged myself to the riverbank. I was soaked and exhausted, but I was still alive. That night was the only one when I was able to sleep because my body was completely drained and every muscle ached. I lit a small fire to dry my clothes and keep predators away. The sound of the flames crackled softly in the darkness. For the first time in days, I felt a bit of safety. But even so, I didn't stop hearing the sounds of the jungle branches cracking in the distance, something moving among the bushes. Still, my body couldn't take it anymore. I surrendered to deep sleep, not knowing if I'd wake up the next day. When the dawn of the fifth day lit up the jungle, the river had changed. Its waters widened, as if they were guiding me somewhere. I took down my improvised shelter and began to walk with more urgency. Something in the air told me I was close to something. I didn't know if it would be my salvation or a new danger. As I moved forward, the vegetation changed. The trees weren't as dense, and sunlight reached the ground more easily. It seemed like I had entered a more open area, and that's when I saw it. The first signs of human activity. I found a piece of rope tied around a tree. There were also remains of an old campfire. When I saw all of this, my heart raced. I couldn't believe it. It seemed I was close to a tribe or near people. I quickened my pace as much as my exhausted body allowed. But what I found next made me freeze in place. I found some bones poking out from the damp earth, and something inside me told me not to look, but curiosity was stronger. That's when I got closer and dug a little with my trembling hands. When I saw what was there, a chill ran through me from head to toe. It was a corpse, or what was left of one. The bones were broken and crushed, as if something had smashed them with monstrous force. It didn't look like a natural death. The smell of disturbed earth mixed with something else, something rotten, turned my stomach. I stepped back immediately, my instincts screaming at me to get out of there. The last thing I needed was to find out what or who had done this. I didn't look back. I didn't want to imagine that maybe something was watching me from the shadows. I kept walking without stopping. My body was on the edge, but fear was now stronger than exhaustion. Around noon, as I followed a bend in the river, something caught my attention. Human footprints. They were fresh, pressed into the damp soil. My heart pounded. If there were people nearby, maybe I was saved. I started following them with excitement, forgetting for a moment the pain in my legs. And then I heard it in the distance, voices. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But no, they were real. Human voices speaking in the local dialect. With the last bit of strength I had left, I ran toward the voices. Every step was painful, but hope kept pushing me forward. Suddenly, the river opened into a small natural bay, and there, right in front of me, was the village of the tribe we had visited just days earlier. Several fishermen turned when they saw my silhouette emerging from the jungle. I was dirty, injured, and on the verge of collapse. For a moment, they didn't react until one of them recognized me. He started shouting, calling the others. In the crowd, I saw familiar faces, my expedition teammates. In just a few seconds, fear and despair melted away. We embraced, and tears of relief rolled down my face. They told me, "We thought you were dead. We've been searching for you for days. We were planning one last expedition upriver, but thank God you made it back to the tribe." That night, surrounded by my friends and the kind villagers, while I recovered with warm food and medical care, I understood that I had survived thanks to a combination of basic knowledge, instinct, and most of all, the determination not to give up. As I ate a soup made from medicinal herbs, a deep sleep came over me and I laid down to rest. When I woke up, no one was around me, so I stepped out of a hut made of straw and wood. The villagers were surprised and told me I had been asleep for over an entire day. Apparently, I had been so exhausted that I slept straight through. The tribe explained some of the herbs and how they help the body. Thanks to that soup, I was able to rest deeply and recover faster. This jungle expedition had taught me a powerful lesson: never stray too far from people. It showed me its dangers and its beauty. It allowed me to return and tell my story of how I survived in such a place. The danger of the jungle is not just about strength, it's about knowledge and, in some cases, pure luck. But tell me, do you think you would have survived a place like this if you had been in my position? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any survival adventure. I'll see you in the next video.